Oh, try to mix it up. That was that might have not been called for, but we're back after an incredible 4-1 week. I went to my first Browns game that I've been to in years. I'm wearing a shirt from the game here that they gave out of Nick Mangold, which I told you over the phone. I knew the minute they handed me the Nick Mangold shirt, and I found that it was Nick Mangold Day and that they were honoring him, and that on a cloudy, rainy day when they started the ceremony, the sun came through the clouds.
Wow, it's remarkable.
That I knew we were going to lose. And I should have, at 12:55 p.m., switched my survivor pick from Carolina to the Jets, which not a single person out of 800 that are left in my survivor pool took. And that would have been a winning strategy. But, I went down with the ship.
Nobody in their right mind would have taken the Jets in that scenario. So please don't beat yourself up for it, even though you might have been witness to some divine intervention and maybe a message from God.
I was. I have no doubt in my mind.
Actually won that game. I found remarkable, considering I don't think they passed it for barely 100 yards.
50.
And what was it?
Like 55 yards.
55 yards passing, and they had a screen pass to Breece Hall, which I was celebrating because he's on my fantasy team. I know the special teams lost you the game. I know that they got you to jump off sides at the end of the game, which is a critical mistake. And here you are, walking out of MetLife Stadium with a loss as a Browns fan. That could not have felt very good as a 2.5-point favorite in that game. And what I would think we talked about is a must-win game in order for you to have any chance in the AFC North. So I think that ship has sailed. I mean, you could probably agree at this point.
Yeah. Although crazier things have happened, but our offense is so bad. And I am not afraid to admit it now after seeing him play that Dylan Gabriel is not an NFL quarterback. I don't think that he's also, it was just so abundantly clear to me that he's undersized. I mean, he throws a good ball and he has accuracy, but his reads are terrible. And I even saw some like Browns guys that I follow who are very good at understanding football at a deep level. And he just, the choices that he's been making in his reads and his sequence and his patterns are just off. He looks very small out there.
First year in the NFL.
I know. Yeah,
it's a big step up from
shouldn't be out there,
football, man.
Right? Probably shouldn't be out there. A lot of criticism for our new offensive coordinator, Stefanski, Andrew Berry. There's so much blame and finger pointing going on. But you know what? It was great to be out there. It was a lot of fun with the Jet fans because we commiserated, and there was a lot of, I was witness to a lot of really funny interactions between Jet fans and Browns fans. We were sitting on the Browns sideline. It was hysterical. The things that were being said about each other's teams and just sort of good. A sort of collective understanding of how bad both of us are as we're rooting for our team, and just the blunders that were happening on the field and the booing of Justin Fields. And it was a lot of fun. And then of course it started raining pretty hard. And it just was so fitting that it would rain in that situation. And at the end of the third quarter, I decided to pull the plug, and the skies just opened up as we were walking to the parking lot. It was the right time. But
I'm glad you got to go there with your son and show him, some live football. I mean,
and the last time, and I wanted to do it because he's going away to college next year. Yeah. And the last game we went to, was Cleveland Jets.
Oh, Jets.
When we were still living in Jersey City, I think he was 5 or 6 years old, and he had on a Jet jersey and I had on a Browns jersey. It still comes up in our camera. So I was like, Benny, we got to go. We got to go to one more game. That was fun.
Good for you.
Speaking of the Jets, you want to jump right in? And they're playing tonight again.
What'd you just crack open there? A little Miller Lite?
The last beer, which is not a Miller Lite, but
Bud Light.
Benny's friend Sky brought Bud Lights, and there's one more.
Good for you.
Here it is.
Well, that sounds great. Actually, heading out later to a sports bar with my softball guys. We're going to watch the Jets. We get together once a year
Oh
for
wait,
a
now
Thursday
that's
night game.
with our fantasy team, right? Are you going to the
Yeah.
same bar?
Yes,
That's
exactly.
great.
So we're doing that. We'll have a send off for Dougie. He's going out to Vegas to start his life out there. And so,
Dude, I wish I lived on Long Island. I'd come to that. That
I
sounds
know
so
you
much
would.
fun.
I saw your response was very good. I'm really proud of our picks last week, 4-1.
Yep.
Tampa Bay let me down personally. And in my parlay, I had a 5-team parlay with 4 winners. I would have been in first place in Megabucks if, Baker, if you look at the stats, he kind of padded the stats at the end in a meaningless drive to Tez Johnson for the second touchdown. But Baker, I got to say, the defense, they had a great first drive. The Bucks came right down, took a 7-0 lead, and then just stopped scoring. And the defense, you got to give them, kudos for the loss. I mean, you got to blame it on the defense because they gave up a touchdown last play of the half on a great catch by Diggs, and then Patriots had the ball out of the half. And second play, Henderson went like 80 yards for a touchdown. That kid's fast, by the way.
Oh, believe me, I know.
Kid's really quick.
Yeah.
So he might have had a breakout performance. But yeah, so Tampa really let me down. But other than that, I thought our picks were excellent. And a couple of points coming into this week. There's a lot of backup quarterbacks this week. I'm not sure if you're aware. There's 5 games.
Okay.
So in the 34 total games with backup quarterbacks, the over has hit at a 77% rate.
Wow.
And it's actually 6-1 this year since week 9.
Okay.
So it's something to consider with these games like Commanders, Giants with Jameis, obviously Flacco again, Davis Mills with the Texans, and then, of course, Jacoby and Mac Jones, just something to consider. But talking about tonight's game, the line's 12.5. My initial reaction to this when I saw the line was it's too many. I just think, and I know the Jets have been doing this the last 2 games with smoke and mirrors. I know that they've gotten these 2 wins and nobody believes in them. And Justin Fields stinks. And New England, you cannot run the ball in New England. Sean Tucker last week was the first rushing back all season to get more than 50 yards rushing against New England's defense. They're number 1 in the league against the run. We talked about it. He had 10 rushes for 53 yards. So I am playing Breece Hall tonight, but reluctantly. I don't have anybody else to play. I don't necessarily know how the Jets are going to score, but the Jets have beaten New England twice in a row, and New England has lost their last 5 primetime games outright. So, and I know the Jets haven't been much better. I mean, prior to the 2-game win streak, they were really, really bad against New England. They were like 2-16 in their last 18 games, and the last 2 are the wins. So you can imagine how bad they've been. But I just think it's too many, Jack. Vrabel, his team coming off short rest. Is this short rest? Yeah.
For who?
For both teams, because, they played Sunday.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, they both play Sunday. So the short week.
So Vrabel teams on a Thursday night off short rest are only 2-6 against the spread. It's a division game, and for whatever reason, I'm going to take the Jets with the 12.5. I don't think we should take them in our top 5, but I did take them tonight. And I do know that there were a lot of people that have New England left in Survivor. There's a lot of action on New England tonight in Survivor, and that would scare me even against a bad Jets team. So I touched the money line. I don't think we'll take it in our top 5, but I took the 12.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything you said. And having just watched them, I think one of the unfortunate things I witnessed was Garrett Wilson came back into the game and then lasted 1 play, hurt himself again. Now he's, I think, back on IR. So there's really nobody to throw the football to. So I don't see really anything changing. And, look, is our defense better than New England's? Sure. But that doesn't make me think that, I didn't see anything that made me think that, with the exception of Justin Fields' ability to scramble and get out of the pocket and run for a 20-yard gain here and there. I didn't see anything that made me think that they can score, even on a mediocre defense. And I think New England's top half of the league in terms of their defense. They're not Cleveland, but they're pretty damn good.
I think you said they were 17 overall last week, 1 against the run. Their strength of schedule we talked about is 32nd in the league, but I don't think it comes into play this week against a doormat team. It's just, this is a division game. You got to figure that maybe Aaron Glenn has these guys believing, however they're doing it, that they're more competitive in these games. I thought the defensive line on the Jets was pretty good. I like the kid McDonald a lot. I like the Johnson kid that they drafted from FSU, who's healthy. I know they got rid of Williams to Dallas, but they just seem to be playing a little bit better on that side of the ball. And maybe that was disguised by the special teams effort last week. So maybe I'm overstating, but I do agree. I don't think you're going to get much through the air unless maybe that new kid they got, the Texas receiver they got from the Colts, Adonai Mitchell, he had a week to practice and learn the plays. So maybe he sneaks in there tonight and can make something happen, but that's a reach.
Yeah, the New England offense is ranked 29th. So it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Baker did not play well, in my opinion, in that game. And he hasn't been playing well the last 3 weeks. So we'll talk about that when we talk about the Buffalo game.
He's missing his guys, man. It's not easy without Evans and Godwin out there. You got one receiver, Ibuka, who's a rookie.
Yep.
So he's got, he's missing his playmakers.
Yep. Anyway, I'm with you. I think it's too many. I don't think it'll make our top 5, but by the end of this show, if it does, like 12.5 is, in my mind, just way too many in any NFL game, in a primetime game for a home team to be getting, especially a division game.
Well, it's in New England.
What's that?
The game's in New England.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's in Foxborough.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so that explains it.
Yeah.
This could get ugly. Okay. Let's move on, shall we?
Sure.
To Madrid. First ever, last week we had our first ever game in Berlin. This week we got our first ever game in Madrid. I wonder what song they're going to sing, the fans. Like, did you see them singing Country Roads? That's so great.
I do. It's amazing.
We've got basically 2.5, came out at 2.5, hasn't moved, total 47.5, which seems a little bit low in this game. I'll just say that I think, what we have here is two teams going completely in the opposite direction. I mean, dare I say Miami is starting to look good the last 2 weeks. I think they looked great last week, obviously, in beating Buffalo. And the week before that,
they got smashed by Baltimore at home on Thursday night.
You're right. Okay. But even though they got beat up bad in that game against Baltimore, they actually moved the ball well in that game. I mean, Tua had another terrible game. And I really kind of lay a lot of that on him. But the offense looked good. People get open. Waddle gets open. Achane is great. I think that and Washington, to me, is completely done. Like, not only have they lost their stars, and I think, I don't know. I think obviously Jaden Daniels, but I think what's his name? The receiver is
McLaurin's out,
making the trip for like optics sake. But man, they are beat up on both sides of the ball. Defensive line. Luvu got hurt again. He's so important. Quan Martin, Jonathan Jones, both questionable in the secondary. I just think this is a big Miami. It's a big Miami win. I like them laying 2.5. I think this is an easy win. What do you have here? I know we don't have data on international games, especially this one.
We have a little. There's no games ever been played in Spain. I think Miami's in a tricky spot here. I think that people are gonna. I think this is a really good opportunity to sell high on Miami. I think
really
off the win against Buffalo. I think people are making a lot out of that. I understand Tua played well. The offensive line for Miami actually kept Tua upright and his jersey kind of clean, which I didn't expect, and opened holes for Achane. I just think it was more of a letdown thing for Buffalo that they weren't focused properly on Miami the way they should have been. And I give a lot more of that credit for that win to the lack of preparation on Buffalo. I'm not ready to buy into Miami. I think Dan Quinn has taken over the defense this week. So I think they'll get a spark on that side of the ball. Mariota is capable, not great, but I think this could be kind of a high scoring game with what I consider two bad defenses.
Yeah.
And I think Miami's might be ripe to be upset here. I'm not going to say I'm rushing to the window to bet Washington, but I certainly am not going to buy in to the Miami hype off of one win. I'm just not willing to do it. So to me, there's a little bit of data. Tua has played 2 international games. He's 0-2 straight up and against the spread. Teams that are after an upset plus a 20-point loss, so that would be Miami. Those teams are just 7-20 in their next game. So it doesn't normally always carry through. Now, Mariota has lost 7 straight games as an underdog, so you may want to consider that as well. I just think Dan Quinn's going to have the defense playing a little bit better than they've been, taking over the play calling for the defense. He's a defensive-minded coach, and it wouldn't surprise me if Miami kind of takes a step back here. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, I just feel like the Commanders are done. 28-7 to the Chiefs, got blown out at home by Seattle. Then they get blown out at home by Detroit.
Yeah, good teams though. Look at the teams you just mentioned.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that
put Miami in that sentence. It just doesn't add up. I don't know why Miami's favored against anybody, honestly. Off of one win. It just doesn't make sense to me. So if anything, if I could get Washington +3, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Good points. Let's move on. Back to the USA at 1:00 for Houston at Tennessee for this AFC South battle. Line came out at 8.5. Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, when we first got it, then came down 7.5, 7, 6.5, where it currently is at 6, 37.5. It just has one of those feelings of Tennessee not scoring. And I think the last time they played each other, didn't they get shut out a few weeks ago in Houston?
Don't remember. I have been trying to not pay too much attention to Tennessee. They're just really awful against the spread team. So, and I know I think they covered the spread recently, surprisingly, in a game
against us.
Yeah,
we had the Chargers.
That's right. On a late field goal, they were able to cover. So that was, and then they're coming off extended rest here. So I'm not sure if that helps. And normally it does.
It was Houston, by the way. It was 26-0 in Houston, week 3 or something like that. It was kind of see the same thing happening again. I don't know.
The Texans are 5-1 straight up and against the spread in their last 6 against Tennessee, winning in Tennessee both straight up and against the spread in their last 4 trips there. So I don't know what you see in Tennessee that would instill the confidence to take 7.5 here. But Davis Mills at quarterback doesn't inspire a great amount of confidence for me to bet them laying that kind of a number in a division game, especially now that you're telling me that they got shut out in the first game. I would imagine that there's some pride in that room. It's a defensive, probably a game that's interdivision. It would shock me if they didn't play a lot better than they played after the first time they got shut out and make some adjustments. One thing that you can argue for Tennessee, and I would not bet Tennessee, I just want to make an argument with the data, stringing together multiple games has been an issue for the Texans. Since the turn of the calendar in 24, Houston has played 5 games directly after scoring 30 points, as they did last week in that miraculous comeback win against Jacksonville. They're 0-5 straight up in those games, scoring under 28 points in the games that follow that. So maybe they don't string this together. Obviously, CJ Stroud's still out. This game's a skip for me, but if I had to bet it in the pick pool, I'm going to take the points.
Wow. Okay. Good angles. I don't really have a strong opinion other than I would never touch Tennessee. The only question is, would I lay it with Houston? For all the reasons you said, I think you can never take Tennessee this year. I still can't believe they won a game. I just had a flashback to that kicked in thing and the guy dropping the ball going across the end zone. But yeah, I'm with you. I think like team total unders on Tennessee. Not bets like that you normally see, but in terms of the pick pool or Survivor or anything like that, I mean, Houston might be a look in Survivor, to be honest with you. Not that we have any teams
on
left.
The road. So, on the road in division game, I think is always tough in Survivor. Really gotta bite your tongue on that stuff. And also, I don't know if there's any data to support this. I kind of in my mind of gambling in these interdivision games, I kind of think the game script is usually opposite of it was the first time they played. So first time was a complete blowout. It wasn't close, and it was an under. This game might turn out to be something like last week's Texans game, where it just was more wide open, and you got two teams that are playing a little loose on defense and a lot more offense than you think. So this one, to me, if it's opposite of the first one, would be Tennessee in the over.
Yeah, it's market move on the total is just nothing but under money, and I think it's the lowest one of the week at 37.5. So it's
Wow.
Clearly people are pounding the under, and they don't think the Titans are going to score.
I know, but you know how bad the public has been this year. They've been dead wrong.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. It's an ugly game.
Cincinnati. I'm going to play Nico Collins in that game, though. I have to.
Okay. Pittsburgh hosting the Bengals. This is a revenge game. Line came out at 6.5. Cincy took money pretty much right away, and is still taking money. Went all the way down to 5.5. I kind of disagree with the market here. I think Pittsburgh bounces back from that really sort of ugly performance against the Chargers last week. Total is 49.5. Cincinnati has the worst defense in the league. Despite the way you played, the Chargers have a very good offense.
Yes.
And
a good defense.
Yeah. This is going to be like payback's a bitch. You're going to, I hate to agree with you on Pittsburgh. And I know you love Pittsburgh in this game, but I think you might be right in this one. And I dare I say, be willing to put it in our top 5. Like, I think they should win this game pretty easily, especially the way your defensive line has been playing. I think they're going to get a rush on Flacco. I like it. What do you think?
Listen, this is one of my favorite games of the week. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Steeler fan and I'm like, this isn't about
trying to be objective.
It's got nothing to do with fanboy. This is like analysis. Tomlin's career as a head coach, he's 27-11 straight up, 25-12-1 against the spread versus the Bengals. And I understand, and I gave out the Bengals, and I actually bet the Bengals, if you remember, on that Thursday night game, because I know Tomlin's record on the road in the division on Thursday night is atrocious. So we did well with that. But I'm telling you here in this spot, 2 things. We signed Asante Samuel. He's going to play cornerback. We have our entire secondary healthy for the first time all year. I think we're going to really bring the pressure after losing to them in their building and getting embarrassed in that game. Rodgers generally bounces back well. After a game with fewer than 200 passing yards in his career, he's 41-23-2 against the spread, laying less than a touchdown here. And I think that has to do with the perception that our defense is not good and that Flacco owns a fairly significant record positive against Tomlin in his career. I think it's 7-3 against the spread or something like that. So Flacco's been good. I think we're going to get after him this weekend. I don't like the over in this game at all. I think it's going to be Steelers and the under. I don't expect our defense to let up that many points. And if I'm wrong about this game, you're going to know right away. Jamar Chase is going to score. Higgins is going to score. Chase Brown's going to run all over us. I don't see that script happening. I think it's going to be defense-dominated game by the Steelers, and I think Rodgers is going to do enough to get us 27, 28 points, and that'll be enough. I like 28-13, 28-10, 27-10. That's the kind of game that I like here. I think the defense on the Steelers side is going to show out this game.
Why would this game be different than the first one in terms of just being devil's advocate? Like, why wouldn't the Cincinnati offense be able to be productive like they were in the first game?
I think 2 reasons. Number one is the game's at home, the sloppy track of Heinz Field or Acriscore or whatever the fuck you want to call this thing now. And you have Pitt playing Notre Dame the day before. The turf's going to be awful. It's always bad. It's going to be really bad on Sunday. That's going to slow down Cincinnati. They're not a power team. They're a finesse team. They like to play on a fast track. And again, it's not a night game for them at home. We're on a Thursday night on a short week where we struggled. We're a fully rested team. We're coming off a loss against a good football team. We're playing an AFC North team that Tomlin's had a lot of success against. Taylor, on the other hand, when he's faced the AFC North opponent off a bye, and I believe since he was off a bye, right? He's only 1 yeah, they didn't play last week.
Yeah.
He's only 1-4 against the spread, including 0-2 straight up, but against the spread as underdogs. And his combined score in those games is 85-23. So I just think, and I did read something that Flacco has a clavicle issue on his right shoulder. And I don't know. I don't think that's going to prevent him from playing. I just don't think it's going to matter. I think the game strip's going to be different. We'll be able to slow him down on a slower track, and the defense is going to be pumped up and ready to go. They're going to have a hard time with Jaylen Warren and our tight ends. They are the worst team in the league at stopping the tight end. I don't know if you know that. So I'm playing Freiermuth this week. We have 3 tight ends. Last time we played them, all 3 of them scored. I just think it's going to be a really tough day for Cincinnati. So I like Steelers. I like the under. I love the defense. I think Rodgers is going to have a bounce back game. I know Reed picked him up, and hopefully he has a good game for him.
Okay. Generally agree with what you're saying.
Top 5.
I picked up Calvin Austin in our fantasy league.
I like that. Why not? I love that. He's coming off a game where he disappointed himself and his fans by dropping that ball on a critical spot in that game. I think Pittsburgh -6 is good enough for the top 5. Let's see where we end up, but I'm all over them this week.
Well, the spread's locked in today. Let me see what our number is there.
5.5, maybe.
All right, let's just keep going. I'll pull that up eventually. All right, let's move on to none other than the Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
3, it was 2.5, went right to 3. Vikings laying 3, 48.5. I hate to say it. I want you to go first on this one, but I have an opinion on this one.
I love Minnesota in this game. They're one of my best bets of the week. I'm going to put them in a parlay or a reverse with Pittsburgh. I just think that they've had a string of very hard games. They played the Eagles, the Chargers, the Lions, and the Ravens the last 4 weeks. Very hard to come up. I mean, other than Kansas City, those are probably the 4 best teams in football. They went 1-3 straight up against those teams and against the spread. I think this is a division game. Caleb Williams is 1-7 straight up in 8 starts against his own division. On normal 7 days rest or less, Caleb Williams is 0-5 straight up versus the AFC North. He loses by an average of 11 points. McCarthy's had 4 career starts against the AFC North. They are 2-0 and against the spread in both games, scoring 27 points in each game. This season, the Bears are 0-2 straight up against their division. I like Minnesota. I think it's an underlay. I think they're getting absolutely smashed by the public perception based on the performance over the last month. And I think the teams that they played are clearly just better than them. And I think this is going to be a really good get-right spot for them against the team that they're very familiar with. The Bears have been doing this with smoke and mirrors. They can be had. And I think they're going to have a hard time slowing down Addison. And now Naylor and Jefferson. I think it's going to be a real nice game for McCarthy and for O'Connell.
Okay, I disagree. I thought you were going to be on the Bears with me. I'm finally waving the flag and going against this team. They do the same thing every single week. And every week, everybody says the exact same thing about them, how lucky they get. And they just keep getting lucky with the turnover luck. I'm sick of fucking hearing it. They do it every single week. And they're going to do
defense. They do turn you over a lot. They have a lot of interceptions. Those interceptions are real. I'm not going to deny it. I just think like this is the NFL. The Bears are not, they're a 6-3 team. They're going on the road into a division game where Minnesota needs this game desperately to get back on track. They have a lot of talent. And I think this is a step down in talent compared to the teams they've played in the last 4 games.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is a good point. Yeah. But I'm never going to change my opinion about JJ McCarthy, especially now. He's not good. And this team, this Bears team is going to get him. And I feel as strongly about that as you do about Minnesota. I mean, I think you have really good points there about the quality of competition they've played over the last month.
Yeah.
And and you may be right that they bounce back here, but I've seen enough from the Bears and what they do every week, and I'm 100% convinced they're going to do it again. And they're either going to win this game or it's going to be extremely close. And I fully expect to see Caleb Williams playing backyard football yet again after another late turnover. And, hopefully he doesn't have to come from behind, because I'm going to have the Bears in my parlays. But yeah, I like Chicago. I think Minnesota, especially their offense, I mean, they're ranked 28th or whatever it is.
They had Carson Wentz for a few of those games, so I think that's a little skewed.
I mean, their defense is much better than their offense. Their offense is ranked 27th.
Yeah, and I also think that Minnesota's played a hard schedule. I mean, they've played a lot of hard teams. It's not like this isn't like the Patriots who've played a cakewalk schedule.
Well, their schedule rank is, I'll tell you right now,
it's got to be top 10 hardest.
It's 17th.
Yeah, well, I guess because Baltimore has a losing record, you don't consider them a real team. But Baltimore, to me, is a team, as you know, that I think could win the Super Bowl. So
Chicago's 31st.
Yeah, I mean, a lot. Yeah. So again, and we're laying 2.5 with Minnesota.
I haven't pulled that up yet, but probably.
If we can get 2.5, I might have to try and convince you to take Minnesota here.
Okay, let me see. My entries this week. All right, what else was I supposed to be checking on?
Steelers.
Okay, yeah, Pittsburgh is 5.5.
Great, I love that number.
Minnesota, I don't think it won't make it into our top 5 because there's so many others that I love. But it's 2.5.
Beautiful, I love that number too. Okay. Pittsburgh and Minnesota, I absolutely love those. I know we disagree. You like Chicago. Let's see where we end up on the rest of the games. But I understand your points. And listen, Caleb Williams is one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year against pressure. We all know that Flores blitzes more than anyone in the league. He's bringing extra people all the time. The thing that Caleb does well, as you say, backyard football, is somehow he avoids the sack.
Oh, yeah.
And then turns it into a super positive play. Like last week against the Giants, he ran around the left side, avoided the sack, and ran in the end zone for a touchdown to win the game.
He does it every week.
He does it every week. I understand. So
he does it every
week.
I
know what I'm dealing with. I just think it's time for Chicago to take a loss. And I think Minnesota, O'Connell is going to be prepared. I think he knows them well. And I don't love Caleb's record against the NFC North. 1-7 straight up is – the numbers are the numbers.
Yeah.
He hasn't been good.
It's like every single week I'm waiting for the whole Chicago thing to collapse. And the same thing happens every week. They just win.
I know.
The Vikings
beat bad teams. They beat the Giants. They beat the Bengals. They beat the Saints. I mean, they're doing it against teams that aren't any good. So I understand what you're saying.
That's a good point. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. Yeah. We've got Carolina, Atlanta, 3.5, 42.5. Remember the last time these guys played, the score was 30-0.
I do. I
Carolina.
think the game script's going to be opposite here. This is a skip for me. I don't have the faith in Atlanta to go out and bet them and lay 3.5. I think that Vegas is really suckering you into Carolina here, honestly, just by looking at it. I mean, how in the hell could Atlanta be laying 3.5 to anybody off their recent performance? There's 3-6 team. They're coming back from overseas. No, didn't they just lose? Yeah, and they covered against. But they lost late on that. The Jonathan Taylor had a career day. I mean, my God, he ran for almost 300 yards against their defense. So I don't know what Rico Dowdle is going to do. Obviously, we know that.
That was New England, right?
What's that?
That was New England, right?
What was
the game in Berlin?
New England? No, that was the Colts.
Oh, it was Colts.
Colts
Atlanta?
were laying 6.5, and they won by 6 against Atlanta.
Yeah, okay,
right. But I just listen. I understand that Bryce Young is better as an underdog than a favorite. I'm sorry what happened to you last week, that they lost to the Saints at home and knocked a lot of people out of Survivor. They're just not good in that favored spot. Now they're getting 3.5. Last one was Carolina in the under. I just don't know what to make of Atlanta. Like, I love Drake London so much. I love Bijan. They don't get him the ball
He's
enough.
hurt, by the way.
The defense isn't really playing as well as you'd think that they would. So this one's a skip for me. What's your opinion?
Drake London questionable, so he's obviously extremely important. He was limited today in practice. It kind of feels like he'll play.
Yeah,
I agree. It's a skip. It's a division game. It wouldn't surprise me if Carolina covered, despite what happened last week. And
yeah,
I'm sort of basing that on the first time that these guys played, but also do not like the rest and travel disadvantage for the Falcons. That's even though they're at home. I mean, those games, playing in Berlin and having to travel back and do all that. Like and they didn't look great last week, even though they hung in there against the Colts, lost in overtime. So it was extra hard fought battle. Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion, and that their offense continues to sort of struggle. And as you know, I don't like Penix.
yeah. I mean, listen, the data supports, I think, Carolina here. I mean, the last 4 years, the Falcons have lost both straight up and against the spread in 3 straight games in week 10 or later against the Panthers. All 3 games Atlanta was favored. The last time they played them at home, Carolina actually won the game in a high scoring game. The final was like 44-38, believe it or not. That was last year. Interestingly, for the Falcons, and I don't know, this is an interesting data point that's kind of off the reservation here, but last week in London, or where was it? Berlin, right?
Yeah, Berlin.
Atlanta went 0 for 8 on third down. And since 2012, there's been 8 teams that went 0 and 8 or worse on third down and came back to be favored in their next game. They're 8-0 straight up and 6-2 against the spread in those games. So yeah, that's why it's a little conflicting for me. So I'm going to skip the game.
Okay. Let's move on to Chargers. Yeah, Chargers Jags. 3-point favorite on the road for the Chargers against the Jags.
Yeah.
Who should have won last week. I don't know if you watched the game, what happened at the end.
I did. I had Jacksonville plus 1.5 in my pick pool. I could not believe how the game ended on a strip sack fumble, picked it up and ran it in for the touchdown to lose that spread. Unbelievable.
Yeah. But that was in overtime, right?
Correct. No, that was the last play of regulation.
Oh.
That was like the worst pitchy woo-woo bad beat that you have ever seen this year in the NFL for sure, because they were losing by 1 and the spread was 1.5 and it was the last play of the game. And they turned him over. The guy picked it up and rumbled into the end zone. They didn't even kick the extra point. They won by 7.
There was one of the worst calls in that game. There was an extremely ticky-tack, hands to the face called on the Jags.
Really?
That if you're a conspiracy theorist, you are 100% certain that referee is gambling on football.
Wow.
Without any doubt in your mind. And if you're just a regular fan, which is probably where I am,
yeah,
you are 100% certain that referee threw that flag with purpose.
Wow.
Without I won't say it was gambling related, because I don't like saying that. I don't think it's real, but it could be. My point is that was an awful call at the worst possible moment of the game. And I don't think that referee slept well that night because of
it. Well, he might have slept on a pile of $100 bills.
Yeah, who knows? That said, I kind of think the Jags should have won that game. Obviously, you do too, and you got robbed. And that no one can believe Houston won that game. But my point is, in this game, I think, you know what? This is too many. And yet I'm afraid to take the Jags. I know they're the right side in this game, but I can't bring myself to do it. What do you think?
Really?
Yeah.
You like the Jags in this game?
Yeah.
I love San Diego in this game. I mean,
really?
I keep calling them San Diego. I love the Chargers.
I
The
think
data
I think
supports
they're the
it.
right side. I won't do it. I won't bet it. I can't stand them. And they should have won last week. And I know they beat who'd they play the week before? They won a big game on the road. Was that the Raiders? Yeah.
They beat the Raiders because Geno Smith hit the defensive lineman in the hand when he had a guy wide open on the 2-point conversion.
Well, they covered, but Chargers played well. Chargers are playing well, and with the addition of Jacoby Myers, even better. I think their
No,
defense.
that's Jacksonville has.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Jacksonville is Jacoby Myers.
Um,
He made a catch last week. He was active. I just think the data supports the Chargers here. I mean, Herbert is 2-1 straight up. Versus winning teams. Jacksonville, I think, now has a winning record. And I love Harbaugh's record here. I mean, Harbaugh's 26-8 straight up and 24-9-1 against the spread on the East Coast as a head coach, including 17-3 straight up and 15-5 against the spread on the East Coast. So the first data point was East or Central. 17-3 straight up and 15-5 against the spread when playing on the East Coast, I think is very good. Chargers have shown they have no letdown. When listed as a favorite off a night game, they're 10-1 straight up, and they're laying they're laying a field goal here. So,
it's very telling to me.
Just think they're a better team all around. I don't trust Jacksonville. Jacksonville's been very bad in the fourth quarter. One of the worst spread marks at home. 1-4 against the spread in the fourth quarter this year. I'm gonna trust Herbert here, and I know the loss of Joe Alt and Slater obviously not being there all year. If Jacksonville can get to him, then there may be some trouble. I believe it or not, I know Tennessee had some success in their building on the defensive line, getting to Herbert and disrupting him a little bit, and that's why we didn't cover that game. But he's still going to do enough at the wide receiver position and making the throws. I think Gadsden's going to come back this week, so he's got the weapons. I think Vidal should be able to run it, and I just think 3's an underlay. With the Chargers are a weird team. They're a West Coast team that goes to the East Coast and wins games. It doesn't really affect them. And that said, I understand they lost to the Giants early in the year and Jackson Dart's first home game. I get that. But I just think I'd rather be on the Chargers here, which I think is a real playoff team. I think Jacksonville is sort of a fraudulent type of team in a pretty bad division. The AFC South, I think in general, is not good. I think the Chargers play in the best division in football, which is the AFC West. And I think they're better than 3 points better than Jacksonville.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sticking with my original. Those are all good points. It's too many. And it's, what's telling is when I look at this line, like we got this line on the 4th and it was 1.5. And I think.
What's it in the contest?
2.5.
Ooh, I love that.
So I think that it's like the market.
We're getting some really good closing line value in these games, whether or not.
Well, if we like them, yeah.
Or not.
My point is that from a market reaction perspective to the Charger win over the Steelers and the Jacksonville loss to Houston made this line like get out of whack too much, and I think 3 is too many. Now there's a lot of injuries for Jacksonville. That like would, again, I'm still going to stick with my original thesis. Like I really believe they're the right side, but I'm not going to bet them. But Brian Thomas questionable. The entire offensive line, with the exception of Walker Little, are all questionable. Like Ezra Cleveland, both tackles.
It's horrible for them.
I wouldn't do it, but I'm telling you,
and
mark my words. And maybe when you and I are going to have a $20 bet if it's 3 or more. I like the Jags.
I don't know how in the world you could like them, honestly, especially after the kind of loss they suffered last week. You don't just come back and recover from that, especially against a real team. And the Chargers are going to run it. They're going to throw it. They're going to play great defense. And they're great coach. There's a way better coach on Chargers side than there is on Jacksonville. So this, to me, is a huge underlay. And the fact that we can get it at 2.5, I think is a gift.
You don't like Liam Cohen?
Not as much as Harbaugh.
Okay. All right, let's move on to Giants Packers.
Okay.
This came out at 7, went to 7, went as high as 8.5.
What's our line?
We have 7 currently and 42.5 in the contest. It's going to be 7.5.
Great. I like the Giants a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I love
How?
the
How
Giants.
could you like the
I
Giants?
like the Giants here a lot off the coaching change. I think that Dable's gone. Kafka's been there. He's very familiar. I think a lot of the players internally liked him better than Dable. Dable was a screamer and a yeller, and he blew a lot of games with his ridiculously moronic coaching, which you have cited on this podcast. I don't know if you forgot yourself citing some shut about Dable, but
Of course.
you have not been happy with him. I think the Giants, despite the injuries, are going to respond well. I think the defensive line for the Giants is going to give Green Bay's offensive line a lot of trouble. They put their center on IR today. They lost their starting center. He's out. I'm not impressed with Jordan Love. Thought he was awful last week against the Eagles. One of the worst football games I've ever watched, by the way. And I just think if you combine that with the fact that the Chargers, that the Packers record as favorites of 4 or more, they're 0-5 against the spread. So I'm just going to take the 7.5. And Jameis is starting. He's going to score some points. He'll probably turn it over, probably be a high scoring game. But I think 7.5 is too many. I like the Giants with the points off the coaching rebound. I think that's going to be big.
Okay. Yeah, I would never bet the Giants in this spot. I would never bet on Jameis Winston. I kind of see like two like very real outcomes in this game. One is that it's going to be a very close game and the Giants can win. And the more likely one, which if you agreed with, I'd be willing to take the Packers, is a Packer blowout.
Absolutely
just because,
not. No way.
Yeah.
The
Just
Packers
because
are 0-5 against the spread this season when favored by 4 or more points. I'm sorry. They are way too injured. They lost their tight end. They lost their center. Their receivers are hurt. Their quarterback fucking sucks. Okay. Jordan Love is not good. And the Giants are getting 7.5 at home off a coaching change. I like the Giants money line.
Wow.
And I like the Giants with the 7.5.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're going to back Green Bay after sitting through that snooze fest at home at Lambeau Field. And you actually turned it off after the third quarter. You finally turned it off.
I bet on them. But I just felt like with the injuries and, there was, look, LaFleur did some stuff in that game that like, I can see why people are questioning whether he's going to be on, coaching that team next year. I mean, like at the end of that game, how do you send out the kicker who is hurt
in the wind? He's got a bad quad.
And you sent him out there to kick a 65-yarder, which he's never. He would have set the record for the longest field goal in the history of the franchise with a hurt leg. Why didn't you send him out there to throw
instead of a Hail Mary? That's what you wanted.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
great.
The play.
Great. So you have a 1% chance of success.
That's the kick was 0.
I understand, but you're blaming that on Matt LaFleur, that you think that they would have caught a Hail Mary?
No, that was just the beginning of my criticism of LaFleur that night. I think
LaFleur did not cost Green Bay that game. Jordan Love cost them that game. The receivers dropping balls cost them that game.
Yeah, the other thing was, look, when it was down to when Romeo Doubs at a certain point, like he was the only starting receiver in the lineup, and when he spread out and just barely missed that one, and then he left the game because he hurt his chest.
Hurt his chest.
I kind of felt like I was done.
I thought the play of the game on the last drive was when Wicks dropped it, number 13.
That was huge.
He was open, and that was one of the only good throws that Jordan Love made the whole night.
Well, I know Aikman said that he cut that route off. He actually should have gone toward the boundary, and it would have been he would have made an easy catch.
Yeah.
And that was actually a bad throw.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I put that on Love. I thought like the way that LaFleur called that game, like it was so fucking conservative. He was running the ball the whole. He wouldn't let Love throw it until it was too late.
And
then as soon as he threw it,
Philly's defense, man. Philly's defense is getting better and better and better every week. And I know early in the year they weren't good, but man, they look ferocious to me.
Anyway, I think that this is
the fact that you consider
do or die time for the Packers, and I think it's an easy target to come in here and play a team that just lost their coach, They're playing Jameis Winston, who's arguably one of the worst quarterbacks in the leagues. We've all seen it. They have no receivers. They're going to get killed.
Jameis Winston is better than Jacoby Brissett. I
No
said
way.
it. Yes, he is.
No way. No way. Okay, we disagree, obviously. Let's move on to Tampa, Buffalo. Bills laying 5.5. It was 6. People bet Tampa. It really hasn't moved. It's 48.5.
Our line is now 6 or 5.5 in the contest.
5.5.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what you think about this one, but I'm really down on Tampa. I'm very curious what the data says here, but I don't think Baker is playing well at all. And Tampa's defense, it's finally, it's so damn clear. I mean, when they're healthy, they're very good. Don't get me wrong. But man, did they look terrible last week. And I don't think it's going to be any different in this game. I think Buffalo comes back and bounces off that loss to Miami and absolutely pistol whips these guys. I would lay the 5.5 with Buffalo here.
Okay, I disagree with you. I think it's too many points. I think the Bucs are going to be right in this game. I'm not suggesting they're going to win it, but I definitely think that if they do lose, it's going to be somewhere between 1 and 5 or 6 points. I just think it's way too much for Buffalo to lay. I understand Buffalo is coming off the worst loss of Josh Allen's career. 30-13 is an 8.5-point favorite. Buffalo, after that, Allen has started 9 games where the Bears were off a double-digit loss. They're 6-3 straight up and against the spread in those games. So that's a good data point for you, liking Buffalo here.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield and the Bucs off a loss. When he's been on the Bucs, he's 13-4 against the spread in the next game.
Okay.
So, and they've covered 6 in a row in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a recency bias there. They play well against the spread. They're going to be very competitive in this game. I think, listen, I had money on Tampa. Tampa made 3 bad plays on defense that cost them the game. They got beat over the top by a speedy receiver, a rookie kid, Douglas, who scored his first touchdown. They got beat on a deep throw late in the game to Hollins on a critical 3rd and long, and they gave up the run to Henderson. Other than that, they played fine in the game. They were in the game. It was a close game the whole time. Okay. So they weren't, it's not like, they had a performance like Cincinnati or, one of these dog shit defense teams. So they did give up 3 critical plays that cost them the football game against Tampa, against the Patriots, which is a great team.
And how do you think Baker played?
I think Baker, he padded the stats for 275 and 3 scores and no interceptions. So it looked a lot better than that because he had about 80 yards on the last drive when it didn't matter. So I didn't think Baker was great. I do think they may get Bucky Irving and Godwin back. It's possible, but I think Sean Tucker is asserting himself as a running back here anyway. I haven't been impressed with the Bills' defense and their ability to stop the run. H absolutely carved them up last week, and so did Waddle. So I'm going to take Baker with the points here. And, I'm not saying, listen, it's going to be a hard game to win, but they are 6-1 against the spread under Bowles since 2023 after letting up 28 points or more in a game. So I think Bowles will have the defense ready. Something's going on with Buffalo. We've talked about this for a while, that they're just not right. And I don't know what it is about them, but they may have missed their window, Jack, honestly. I think there's been a lot of talk about that this week. And I'm not sure I believe that, but I know that's what I've been hearing from people, in the NFL and on NFL Network and around the league, and saying, hey, man, New England is now the top dog in that division. They beat them at home, and the Bills might have blown this opportunity with Josh Allen by not putting the talent around him that they need, and also running into Kansas City on the occasions where they had the opportunity to do it. So short answer, I know I've spoken a lot here. I like Baker in the points. I'll take in the 5.5.
Okay. Yeah, I like Buffalo. I totally hear you. I feel like I'm in a position to, it's funny when you're handicapping, sometimes you're willing to overlook a bad performance, and sometimes you think it's not, you can't overlook it. Like I would describe the way that you were talking about Green Bay that way. And I disagree. Like I think they'll bounce back, and I think I'm saying the same thing about Buffalo. I'm willing to forgive them for losing a division game on the road. And they didn't even lose closely. I mean, for God's sakes, they blew up 4-team teasers. They couldn't even cover 4 points and they were laying 9.
People in Megabucks got wrecked.
Yeah. Every league. But I hear what you're saying, and I do in general like Baker as an underdog and don't like him as a favorite.
Correct.
So okay, we'll talk. I mean, this is a possibility. I probably won't get there with you. I think Buffalo bounces back, but I would be willing. Let's see what our other picks are. But with the Bucky Irving, and I see that he practiced today, and I see Godwin practice today. Limited.
Yeah, limited.
Both of those guys go. They're a different team, I think.
I like Baker as an underdog. You can't deny the against the spread stuff, and I think that Bulls will have the defense a little bit better. And I know Josh Allen's special, and they're very, very good at home. Buffalo, they don't lose at home. But this to me could be a fun game, a high scoring game, a shootout type of game. And those are the kind of games that Baker somehow covers.
Yep. Okay. Let's go to 4:00.
Yeah.
Seattle is
game of the week. Game of the week. 2 best teams in the NFC going at it.
Maybe the 2 best teams in the league.
It's not you're not so far off maybe from saying that. I mean,
you can make the case.
City would be in that conversation. I think most people would think, despite the record, because they had a bad start. But
you could make the case, but it's 2.5, 3, 48.5 on the total. It's funny. It's like every time it goes to 2.5, people come rushing in and bet on the Rams. So
what's our line?
Our line in the contest is 3.5.
Rams minus 3.5.
So that's
a
lock as far as I'm concerned. I already liked Seattle in this game. I just think I'll take the points here. I think they have, I think they're the better team. That's really what it comes down to. This is like big picture stuff. Like the Rams defense, obviously very good the way they've been playing. They've been playing great the last month. Stafford's been perfect.
He's the best quarterback in football.
Huh?
Stafford's the best quarterback in football. He's the MVP.
Yeah. Now.
He's thrown 25 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
In the last 4 games, he's thrown over 400 yards 3 times. He hasn't thrown an interception. Yeah. I love the Rams in this game. I just think we got a shit.
Really?
But I think the Rams are a way better team than Seattle. And I ride Seattle a lot on the road, and I like their road record, and I know they're on the road here. McVay has dominated the Seahawks. He's 12-5 against the spread versus Seattle as a coach of the Rams, including 11-2 against the spread since 2019. But he only covers the spread by an average of 5 points. So these are not blowout games. Just McVay finds a way to win them. So I think the 3.5 line in the contest for us sucks. You obviously like Seattle anyway, so it doesn't matter. We're not going to come to an agreement. But if the line was 2.5 and you can get 2.5 out there, I would fucking hammer the Rams there at that number. I think they're.
Why wouldn't you take Seattle plus 3.5? That's like a no-brainer.
I just think the Rams are, because I just think the Rams are a better team than Seattle. They're at home, and you're basically getting a line where they're saying in a neutral field the line would be pick 'em. I would have thought the Rams would be almost minus 4.5 or 5 here. 2.5 to me is a really short in this game, considering the Rams offense, considering they have the best receiver in the league in Puka. And I understand JSN is very good. And they have Devontae Adams, and Stafford is a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. That is unquestionable and undeniable. Okay. Yeah, and I think McVay has shown that he has owned Seattle from a coaching standpoint. So all of that.
I think all that data is against Pete Carroll, and I get it. He owns Carroll, but this is McDonald, and it's just a different beast. It's a new
McDonald
team.
Was there last year.
Okay, so that's one of the numbers.
2 games he's played.
Okay,
McDonald.
But Stafford, most of that data is against Pete Carroll in the Seattle.
I just think the Rams are a better team. I was amazed by this, and I couldn't believe when I read this. The Rams are coming off a game last week that was close to a perfect game against San Francisco. They had 0 penalties, 0 turnovers, 5 out of 6 touchdowns in the red zone. I mean, those numbers, those are video game numbers. Like that's not supposed to happen in the NFL. Nobody jumped off sides. Nobody committed a penalty, a hold in the secondary, no late hits. Like that is the most disciplined, well-played game. Now, can you repeat that? Probably not, right? But since the calendar flipped in 24, the Rams have played 7 games directly after committing 3 penalties or fewer in a game. They're 7-0 against the spread in those games. McVay is coaching, and Stafford has 25 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions in 9 games this year. He's just playing at an elite level. And I know Seattle's defense is good. I have them in fantasy. I love them. But and I would normally like them on the road. I'm not saying we have to bet this game because it's going to be fun to watch. Either way, it doesn't matter if you bet it or not. But I like the Rams, especially if I can get 2.5.
Yeah. So we won't be betting it. We should move on. But man, do I absolutely fucking love 3.5. I think it's an absolute gift that we're getting it in the contest because you can't get it. You won't get it anywhere else but in this contest, right? And I like in a game like this just taking the dog. It's obviously a very high leverage game for the NFC West. These are the 2 best teams in the league right now.
Yeah.
And I just like the offensive. I just like the offense a little bit better, especially with Shaheed. And now it's interesting. I don't know if you noticed this last week, but now that Shaheed's on the team, Cooper Kupp is like, hey, what about me? And so now they just have, between Smith and Jigba, Kupp and Shaheed, and the way Darnold's playing, and I take nothing away from the Rams. Everything you said about them, I agree with. Like they're great right now.
Darnold's been good, not great.
Yeah.
Stafford's been great.
Yeah, and I think, it's not worth hashing it out. Like I just think that it's an absolute gift to take 3.5, and I would do it in a second if you wanted to. But if you believe that strongly in the Rams, let's move on.
Yeah. I think it should be the best game of the day to watch, and I'll be happy to sit back and watch it. Tons of fantasy implications across the board in that game. A lot of stars playing in that game.
Yep. 49ers, Cardinals. I have no real opinion here. These are 2 completely banged up teams. I can't believe San Francisco. This is 3. Like to me, this is a 1-point line, maybe 1.5, which is where it came out.
Is Purdy coming back?
No.
It's going to be Mac.
Pretty sure. Yeah, I'll double check right now, but I don't have any opinion on this one. It's a stinker, even though it's a good NFC West.
I kind of agree with you.
Actually, I take that back. Purdy's practiced. He practiced in full today.
Yeah, I think Purdy's going to play. I like San Francisco. I think if Purdy comes back, it's going to be a big bump for them. I think the Jacoby Brissett thing has kind of worn its welcome. Certainly, I know the performance in Dallas against a bad team had a lot of people jumping on them. People got killed last week taking Arizona at Seattle. That was
was I right about that? I'm so glad I convinced you. You had second guesses.
Yeah, I did, but it wasn't that hard to convince. They're just not a good team, Arizona, and Seattle obviously has a lot of weapons, and it's like a different level of team. Arizona is 0-3 straight up versus the NFC West this season. They are 4-17 straight up against the NFC West over the last 4 years. Sanford.
By the way, if this line's 2.5, I would be willing to take the 49ers because Harrison's out.
Only if Purdy plays. I'll be honest with you. They're still banged up. McCaffrey didn't look great last week.
In full today.
Yeah, that's a huge boost for them. So I don't know. What is our line? Is our line 2.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could consider maybe taking San Fran. They've been really bad at home. They're 8-15 against the spread at home since 2023. It's the least profitable mark against the spread by any team in the NFL. So they've been really bad at home. Like San Francisco is, and they're missing, I don't have to tell you who they're missing on defense. They're missing all of their players. And Ayuk is still out, But I think this is a spot for them if Purdy comes back. Kittle has a big game. McCaffrey gets in. Arizona's not very good. So I don't know how they're going to stop Kittle. Buda Baker can't cover him. So to me, this is San Francisco in a nice bounce back spot to get a home win against an NFC team that they should pound.
They're on the road.
Oh, it's not home?
No.
I like that even better then because they're not good at home. I would take San Fran at 2.5 then if Purdy plays for sure.
Okay. I like it. Let's earmark that as our top 5. Especially Marvin Harrison got appendicitis, so he's out.
Yeah, I heard that. He's got appendicitis. That's not good for him.
Their offense is already bad. I really I like it.
Okay.
That's 1. Man, it's been hard this week. We don't really agree on a lot. Let's move on.
No, we have 2. We have Pittsburgh.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Baltimore, Cleveland. Why is this game on at 4:25? This is horrible. There's so many better games.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. But I guess also the Denver KC game is 4:25 too. Why would there be 2 games at 4:25?
I guess they need something for the East Coast.
Interesting. So we're not going to get Denver, Kansas City. We're going to get this.
Well, I guess we would get Philly or the Giants up in this region. I guess the next best thing is Baltimore because the Philly's playing at night, Sunday night against Detroit. So anyway,
I think the Giants are at 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
Look, we're the worst offense in the league. That said, we typically play Baltimore tough in Cleveland. So I think we can hang around in this game. I saw the line was 9. Actually, sorry, it was 7.5.
8.
7.5 all the way. It hasn't moved. 38.5. I don't see us really scoring. That said, I kind of feel like it's a little bit too much, but I would never bet on Cleveland. I like Baltimore.
Me too. I like Baltimore a lot in this game. Lamar Jackson started 5 career games in Cleveland. The Ravens have averaged 30 points a game in those games. I love the way Baltimore's been playing. You know that. I know that you thought they'd struggle last week in Minnesota. They did not. They went in there and won the game by 7. I know early in the game they were settling for field goals and it didn't look great, but in the end, he's got so many weapons. Mark Andrews was big. He's got Zay Flowers is unbelievable with the speed. And I just think Baltimore's playing a better brand of football. I don't think Cleveland in this game, they may be able to hang around a little bit. I think Vegas is kind of dangling that 7.5 out there to say, wow, 7.5 at home. This is a little different to me than the Green Bay Giant thing, only because the coaching change that happened with the Giants, I think will give them a spark. You don't have that here. You have Stefanski, who's been horrible. Teams that are coming off playing the Jets. I think I mentioned this last week. They're 0-8 in their next game against the spread.
Yeah.
After playing the Jets. The Browns are 2-10 against the spread under Stefanski against the AFC North. That are teams that are under 500. Baltimore's still under 500, as good as they are.
Yeah.
And 0-6 against the spread when they're under 500 with Stefanski. So I just think Lamar Jackson's too much. He's 21-5 straight up against the Cleveland, the Jets, and Cincinnati. Those are their next three opponents. You're going to wake up one day and Baltimore's going to be in first place in the division, just like that. So I like it. I'd lay the 7.5. I think I like Baltimore in the over.
Okay. Yeah, I tend to agree. I'd rather not put it in our top 5 because I just think laying that many on the road in a division game, and it's it wouldn't even surprise me if Cleveland won this game or was very competitive just because we hate them just like we hate Pittsburgh. And
I know,
as you know, forget the record.
I don't think Cleveland's capable of winning this game. I don't think Baltimore would ever allow it. They're on a mission. I don't think Baltimore. I don't know if Baltimore is going to lose another game until they play Pittsburgh. Honestly, in the season.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but what I will say about Baltimore is that they'll turn it around. They'll win 10 games. They'll be the 4 seed in the AFC. And even if they lose this game, they will on Monday morning. Even if they lose this game and you guys beat the shit out of Cincy, we're gonna wake up on Monday and they're gonna be minus 250 to win the AFC North. You know what I mean? Like
Well, they're
nothing's going
minus
to change.
220 now. I think it's a little disrespectful to Pittsburgh, obviously, but they do have an easy
Yeah.
schedule, man. They have the Browns, the Jets, and Cincinnati the next 3 games. Those are all wins.
Yeah.
There's no way Cleveland's beating Baltimore. Not a
Yeah.
chance, especially now. This isn't a look ahead thing where Baltimore's 7-1 and they could maybe sleepwalk the way Buffalo sleptwalked last week at Miami. This is the Baltimore needs to win every game.
Yeah.
And they are going to put it on Cleveland. I like this game, laying the points. I think they're going to score over 30 points, and I have no idea how you can score that many. I don't think Cleveland has the offense to score over 30 points against this team. I think this game is going to be something in the order of 34-10, 34-17, something like that.
You think they're going to score 34 points on our defense?
I do, yeah.
Wow. I don't.
I think Baltimore's offense is just starting to get cooking.
I would personally bet you on the team total under on Baltimore, whatever that number is. We should look it up. I don't.
Browns
I see this game
meetings
as like the total opposite of what you said in terms of scoring. Like I see it as like a 20-3, 20-6, 20-9, 24-10, like 24-7, 24-0, like that. You know,
the Browns' last 4 meetings against Lamar, the over's 4-0.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's when we actually had a decent offense. We're the worst offense in the league, maybe second worst. You know, we're awful. And Dylan Gabriel, I'll say this about this game. Dylan Gabriel, this might be the end for him. It's either like saving his job and he plays well and does something, or we might see Shedeur.
Okay, let's talk about it at 7.5. We'll keep it around for the top 5. I like it.
Okay. KC Denver. You want to go first on this? I have a pretty strong opinion on this game.
You know, my heart says KC and my brain says take the 3.5. Is that what we're getting? Is it 3.5?
Yeah. Let me double check the contest. But it is 3.5.
Yeah, I think Denver is a good buy side team right now. I think everyone's sick of Denver after that performance against the Raiders, where Bo Nix had the worst game of his life and they let everybody down and they almost knocked people out of Survivor. The Raider guy missed the kick and they got lucky. And everyone says Bo Nix sucks. It's all I hear all week. Bo Nix sucks. Bo Nix sucks. And I like Bo Nix this week. I think this could be very competitive, fun game. The last time, and one of the only times that Patrick Mahomes has lost a game in his division in a stadium, believe it or not, he's 18-1 in his division in opposing stadiums. The only one he lost to was in Denver in 2023. So I'm not saying he's going to lose, but it wouldn't shock me. But at the same time, 3.5 seems like too many, especially with Denver's defense. I mean, they are ferocious. Denver's defense is, I think, the best defense in football. So, you know, they're going to give Mahomes fits. I understand
Number
the stats
2
with Reed and Mahomes and off a bye, extra rest, and all this stuff that they're almost unbeatable. It's still too many. 3.5 at home with that defense in a division game. I'm taking Denver.
Okay. Sticking with this week's theme, I disagree. I think it's a KC blowout. I think Bo Nix sucks. I'm part of the chorus of people that thinks he sucks. He continues to prove that to me every week, and I know he escapes and like gets some wins, but I think he's terrible. Their offense is ranked 19th, and defense is very good, but I think KC's offense is it's like perfect matchup. Like I don't think Denver's defense will be able to stop these guys. This is a total statement game by the fucking Chiefs to say to Denver, you're our bitch. This is our division. You're not taking this division. We own this division and we own you, and we're going to blow you out in this game. I like it. Yeah.
I disagree with you. Maybe we'll have 20 on it. Hopefully it doesn't go to 3 because I like the hook.
Yeah, that number says it all to me also. Absolutely love it when it's 3.5.
Mm-hmm. Begging
you to take Denver. Okay, let's move on to the night game. Another game that I really like. Philly came out at 1.5, went to 2.5. is currently at 3, 46.5. And in the contest, it is 2.5.
Philly minus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Detroit. Yeah, I'm not impressed at all with Philly. I think like the Packers blew that game. They had plenty of opportunities. Philly and the athleticism of Saquon and that one spin play was like the game. Dan Campbell, much better coach than Sirianni. I still can't believe what Sirianni did at the end of that game. After that motherfucker he basically doesn't try to get first downs on 3rd and long. It's like part of their MO is to not try to get a first down.
Well,
the whole game.
Jordan Love was as awful as he was against a bad Green Bay team. He knew his defense was going to give him any points, so why not pin him?
It's just amazing when you're 3rd and 12, how many times you could hand the ball off. I didn't think it was possible how many times he did that. And then at the end of the game, to not punt it and make them go 90 whatever yards.
I understand.
Are you fucking stupid?
He got a lot of criticism for that.
And he's had these close calls where he does something so fucking dumb at the end of games and he gets away with it.
He won the game.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I still think that Philly is overrated. And I'm at the point of the season where I'm starting to have very strong opinions about teams, and I'm either going to make money or lose money on these opinions. And I don't think that they're very good right now. I know they're the world champions and they're super talented, but this is a better team, the Lions. And I like them in this game getting points. I'll be on them on the money line, and I think they get this win. What do you think? Love Philly?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, God damn it.
I like Philly a lot in this game. I think they got you right where they want you mentally, thinking that they're not good.
Mm-hmm.
Coming off of that, what you would say, an unimpressive win at Green Bay the other night. Couple data points I think are very important. Goff and Campbell have dominated night games as a duo. They're 13-3 straight up. All 3 losses have come as underdogs. They're an underdog this week.
Yeah.
Goff has made 40 starts in prime time in his career. That's a lot. Rams and Detroit. He's 22-5 straight up as a favorite. He's 4-9 straight up as an underdog. Similar to how we love Baker as a dog and we don't love him as a favorite, this is kind of very opposite of that. I mean, we don't, for some reason, Goff has not been good as a dog, especially at night.
Mm-hmm.
Sirianni is 7-1 now after last week off a full bye. The bye week usually continues for Philly. They're 5-0 straight up and 4-1 against the spread in the second game coming off the bye.
Mm-hmm.
They win by an average of 6 to 17 points per game. Campbell has faced the Eagles and Sirianni twice with the Lions. Detroit is 0-2 straight up in those games, and Philadelphia scored 82 points in those games. I know the public is going to be all over Detroit in this game. You can already see it in the line move that we've seen.
No, it's the opposite.
And I get
You're wrong. It's the complete opposite. Line came out at 1.5. It's now 3. People are betting Philly.
Oh, I saw 1.5 today.
No, it's the line's 3.
Oh, I saw the line came out at 2.5 and it's 1.5 now.
No. Came out at 1.5, went to 2.5, and now it's at 3. People are betting Philly.
I love Philly in this game.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. I think the data says Philly. I think that people, a lot of people, including myself, called the Lions blowout in the revenge game last week at Washington. Thought that was easy. I think Washington was kind of in a doormat situation in that game and didn't have much of a chance. And I just think this is a different animal, a different beast. This is Goff outdoors at night in the cold and the wind. And Sirianni has outmatched Dan Campbell in the 2 times that they've played. And I don't, this isn't a game where I think Detroit is going to come out on top. I think Philly is very hard to beat in their own building, especially in a short spread like this. So I like Philadelphia a lot. If we can get 2.5, if I can get 2.5, I'm going to take it.
Okay. We disagree. Last game of the week. We're gonna have trouble finding 5. This is the first time ever, and very important to keep our mojo. Monday night, Dallas Raiders. What an ugly game. It's a shame. Maybe when they mapped this out before the season, they thought these teams might be good, but even then, it's like questionable. I don't have an opinion on this. Do you?
I mean, you got to like Dallas. You have to. They made the trades. They got better they had the off time off the loss. They're on extended rest. They got a tremendous player from the Jets. They got Cincinnati's best linebacker. They have CD healthy with Pickens. Dak is very good at night, albeit against Arizona on the Thursday night. He let a lot of people down, including myself.
My ass still hurts from that.
He was awful in that game. He's 29-16-1 straight up, 29-19-1 against the spread. He's 18-12-1 against the spread as a favorite in night games, including an impressive 25-6 straight up. The Cowboys with Dak used to be 13-0 as a favorite at night. Now they're 13-1 because they lost the game to Arizona. Geno Smith has been abysmal. He started 6 games in prime time. His teams are 1-5 against the spread and straite up. Geno Smith throughout his career overall is 4-14 straight up, 2-13 straight up as an underdog. In primetime games. Geno has done nothing to show me that he can do anything. I think Dallas' defense is going to be improved, and I think that Dallas is going to be hungry for blood here. This is an easy win for Dallas. I think they could put up 40 on the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders are going to be able to keep up with them scoring-wise, even with Bowers, Genty, Tucker. It's just not enough. Geno Smith is a horrible quarterback. Kenny Pickett is not the answer. When he came in, he did nothing. And I just think you're getting an angry Cowboys team that's refocused off extended rest after Jerry Jones went out and improved the team the best he could. And he said, hey, man, I'm going to spend the money and bring these guys in here. I believe you guys can turn it around this season and make a season out of this. I think they're gonna boat race the Raiders on Monday night.
Well, you make a good case, and I don't really have an opinion. And look, if we're trying to scrape together 5, that may end up getting in there. But Dallas, when everyone believes in Dallas, what happens is usually not good.
I actually liked them a little better, the fact that they're on the road here against this team too. I mean, Vegas is a friendly place to play. It's a beautiful brand new field. It's a fast track. I would be very surprised if CeeDee Lamb didn't have a big game. If the Dallas offense does not score 40 points in this game, I'll be shocked.
Yeah. What's the Raiders? Let me just see these. The Raiders
DVOA
ranked 28th. Their offense is 30th. Their defense is 11th.
Yeah,
not bad.
The defense has been okay. I
thought they played really well. Was that Denver the last game?
They almost beat Denver in Denver.
It was a very good showing by them, especially like in short yardage. I thought their defense really, really looked good. I know 3.5 is not a lot. Let me see Dallas. They're ranked 21st, offense 11th, defense 31st.
The defense is horrible, but I think it's going to be improved with these 2 new players. Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, maybe it's a wait and see.
Yeah, home dog Monday night, getting 3 and a hook.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm not saying. Listen,
yeah.
It's hard to love Dallas. I think they're going to I happen to think from a standpoint of offense, I think they're going to be in a position where they're going to put up a lot of points. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Raiders defense has turned it around. That division game, obviously they played very hard against Denver. I'm not sure if it was Bo Nix not having a great night or maybe Peyton just getting out schemed that game. He didn't look like he was calling the right plays at the right time in that game.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of effort on the defense for the Raiders. So I don't know. Can you carry that over week to week? I'm not sure. Hopefully we'll find some 5 other games. I got to get you turned around on this Minnesota thing. I don't know why you love Chicago so much. Maybe
I think I can
Chargers.
Yeah, I think you got me. I was just looking over also. I think you can probably get me there on Baltimore. So that's 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
And then so we got Baltimore, we got the Steelers, and we have the 49ers. You don't think I could get you there on the Packers? No. Tampa could be a possibility.
Yeah, I like the points with Tampa. I think they're going to keep that one close.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Baker is a dog. What about tonight? You want to take the 12.5? Tough to bet the Jets. Exactly. Tough to bet the Jets.
If anything, to be honest with you, and I wouldn't mind starting the week this way, I'd lay it.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that. There's too many Survivor people on New England for me to like that. And this is a division game. I think the Jets may have something going magical.
No, how? Why do you think that?
I don't know how or why. It doesn't make sense. They shouldn't have beaten the Browns last week, but they did.
No, but
that was also beating teams they shouldn't be beating late, and eventually that just runs out. Yeah, I'm going to say no. Maybe I can get you on San Diego, but it seems like you really like Rocky Dennis this week.
Well, I mean, I think that's I want. It's weird with that one. Like I said, I won't bet it, but I think it's the right side. All right, let's keep talking. Thanks for tuning in. I got to run. I got Anna's texting me. I'm a half hour late for dinner. Enjoy. Say hi to the fantasy boys who I've never met. And
I'll see you Brad's son's bar mitzvah this weekend, buddy.
That's right. Yeah. Saturday night. Right. Going to Philly. Coming to Philly.
Great night. How the hell are we going to lift up Brad in that chair? My God.
It's going to take 20 of us.
I told him your brother better be ready to do some lifting.
Are we going to do that?
How can we not?
We should.
His son's getting bar mitzvah. We got to put him in the chair.
Yeah, well, his son. We got to put him in the chair.
We have to. He's got to go up.
All right, everyone. It's week 11. We'll see you at the site this weekend. We got a lot of exciting stuff going on. I brought in NBA. I got college basketball. I got NHL. Got a really exciting announcement coming about some previews for all the sports that we're going to be getting. I'm excited. It's following up on our picks. Look for our picks on either Saturday night, probably Sunday morning, but I'm looking to stay hot, coming off 4-1. And we'll see everybody next week.
All right, guys, good luck with your selections. Don't spend all your units in one place.